the new investors insisted that the management team stayed in place, that we all kind of kept our same jobs, more or less.
Because I feel that's what millennials are doing nowadays, is they're changing jobs to keep kind of pushing themselves, adding to their repertoire, things such as that. Paul Hackert from Forbes was quoted saying that millennials are more motivated by innovation and compassion rather than money, hence the reason why their jobs turnaround is so high a little bit. So my next topic was, have you really noticed any stigma around job changes recently? I feel like quite a bit ago, changing jobs was, if someone was known to change jobs, it was representative of someone who wasn't loyal, they can't hold down a job, they can't get along with colleagues. That's what I feel like people who used to job hop would represent. Do you feel the same stigma about it now, or is it much different?
I think that my answer is based on the industry within which I work. So it's not considered a bad thing, or somebody wouldn't be viewed negatively if they switch jobs, every 2 or 3 years. Excuse me.
Interrupt, but kind of speaking of technology, have you noticed that I feel like the technology sector has been extremely profitable over the last couple of years, and it's had very rapid growth. Do you think that has added at all to the fact that, there's so many opportunities out there, so people are moving much more frequently, they're moving towards the innovation?
Yeah, as revenue grows rapidly, there's a lot more job opportunities for folks.
There was a study done by the Bureau of Labor Statistics saying that by the time a millennial has reached the age of 32, they've changed jobs already 4 times. Do you see that as detrimental or helpful to their career path?
Back in the day when I was in my 20s, I changed jobs at least 4 times before I was 32. But back then it was considered highly unusual.
Yes.
Now, in today's world, particularly, again, within my industry, that's considered the norm, and there's nothing wrong in that.
Exactly. So kind of as my wrapping up thought here, would you have any advice to millennials who are trying to shift through the corporate hierarchy? Do you think that job clinging currently nowadays in 2017 is more detrimental or more beneficial, leads to better opportunities for people who are just entering the workforce?
Again, so I think my answer is based on the industry within which I work, which is the software and technology industry. So it's going to be different for different industries. But within my industry, it's beneficial to have different jobs in completely different areas.
Do you see more people moving up through your company hierarchy from internal promotions, or is it being more outsourced and you guys are having headhunters go out and bring in the people you want, or are you kind of rewarding your loyal employees?
We try. We've got a policy within our human resources and culturally within the company where we try very hard when we have new opportunities. We look very, very carefully at all the internal potential candidates, even if there's maybe stronger candidates outside. If there's somebody who we feel that within a relatively short amount of time could, fulfill that new role very well, on balance, we're going to give the job opportunity to the internal candidate, unless the gap between what we need and.
All right. Well, perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to talk to me.
No problem, Jack. My pleasure.
Thank you. I was lucky enough to just be joined on the phone by John Blazinski, who is the CEO of Alemiga. They're based out of Philadelphia, and they sell a supply chain software. Their main customers are Fortune 500 companies who run big kind of technological supply chains, and they need to keep kind of a streamlined agenda going, and that's what the software they sell. So I was talking to him about millennial job clinging, if it's detrimental or beneficial. I think we all are about to enter the workforce, and this is a very important question for us. Do we keep moving around for different opportunities, or should we stay with one company and work our way up? So John Blazinski actually had a very interesting rise to fame. He graduated King's College in London in 1981, worked for Hewlett-Packard for 5 years, and then went back to school for his master's. And now after he graduated master's, he had a couple stints at a couple different companies. He was at Bank of America for 3 years, Motorola for 4 years, and then IBM took him on for 10 years. After that stint of around 20 years, for 4 or 5 years, he worked for 3 small companies called Saxotech, Patney, and Evotus. After that, he spent the last 5 years at Patney in the same position, being through mergers and acquisitions, going through big, technological advancements, and he's still there. So I thought it was very interesting to get him on the phone and interview about millennial job clinging. He actually said that his rise to fame kind of is the millennial way. He bounced a lot quite a bit, and he said that it helped him tremendously. It showed him new friends, new opportunities. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. He's hiring activity at Elemica. I'm saying, do you hire more internally? Do you hire externally? Do you hire millennials? Do you hire, older people with more experience? And he said, first and always, they'll always promote and hire internally. Meaning if there's a promotion available or if a senior level needs filled, they will go to their internal employees who already work at the company and see if anyone is available for that job and kind of has met the requirements for it. And if that does not work, then they will go external, which is then they will bring someone else in. And that's kind of the more millennial way. You come in, you do that thing, you come into a big firm, and you make your way up rather than, an entrepreneurial mindset, which is, I feel, very millennial, whereas it's something like Snapchat, Instagram, things like that, where it's just, overnight success in a very new and fast-moving technology industry. He also pointed out that it's very, very, difficult to kind of get a definitive answer for job clinging, but it's heavily based on your sector. For example, information sector, government center, entertainment center. He said the newer kind of fields of expertise, the entertainment, the social media, that stuff moves very quickly. That stuff is gaining a lot of popularity and a lot of knowledge very quickly. So it is beneficial to move around in those sectors because you need to learn more, you need to see more, you need to know more people. But it is detrimental because you don't build, employee loyalty anywhere, and no one's really got a firm grasp on you. You're very kind of in the air, switching jobs every 2 to 3 years, searching for opportunities. He said, job clinging is beneficial in today's day and age still. If you get, hired into a big Fortune 500 company, you can stay there and you can move through the ranks rather than just being let go by some lower level startup. So there's positives and negatives to both job clinging. It depends your sector. It depends a lot on experience. It depends a lot on kind of your situation. But overall, it has to be a personal choice. If you want to move, it's going to be for a monetary issue. It's going to be for a higher job title, better location. It's very specific to the millennials, which is us who are trying to get jobs. Should we switch or should we stay at the same job? It's very, it's got a very definite grasp on how your current situation is and where you want to go from there. Thank you.